Imagine yourself standing in the soft glow of twilight, surrounded by the hum of laughter and the clink of glasses, your heart swelling with the promise of a new beginning, and the delicate rustle of silk dresses blends with the murmur of a joyful crowd. This is your wedding day, a moment you've dreamed of for years, unfolding in the backyard of your new home, place meant to cradle your future. But as the sun dips below the horizon, a shadow moves through the celebration, sharp and unyielding, like a blade slicing through silk. Her name is Karen, the HOA president, and she's about to unravel everything you've built. The backyard of your home. Fairy lights drape across the wooden pergola, casting a golden shimmer over the long tables adorned with ivory linens. The grass beneath your feet is cool and slightly damp, freshly mowed, releasing an earthy fragrance that mingles with the aroma of roasted herbs from the catered dinner. Your guests, a tapestry of family and friends, move gracefully through the space. Yours, their smile, a quiet anchor amidst the whirlwind of the evening. The officiant, an old family friend with a voice like worn leather, begins the ceremony, and for a moment the world feels perfect. But perfection in Willow Grove is a fragile thing, been circling the edges of your life since you moved in 3 months ago. Her emails, crisp and officious, arrived weekly reminders to trim your hedges to precisely 42 inches. Whispers from neighbors about her reign over the HOA, her knack for turning minor infractions into personal crusades. But you dismissed them, too consumed with wedding plans to heed the warnings. Tonight, though, Karen is no longer a distant nuisance. She's here, standing at the edge of your property line, her silhouette stark against the fading light. The first sign of trouble comes as a low murmur from the back of the crowd. Heads turn, and you follow their gaze to see Karen striding forward, her sensible pumps clicking against the stone path you laid last spring. She's dressed in a navy blazer that smells faintly of mothballs, her hair pulled into a severe bun that seems to tug at her already taut features. Event is in violation of HOA noise regulations, she announces, her voice cutting through the officiant's words like a shard of glass. On the strings, your guests shift uncomfortably, their smiles fading into confusion. You step forward, your heart thudding against the lace of your dress, and try to reason with her. Karen, we filed for a permit. We checked the bylaws. Everything's in order. But Karen's eyes, cold and unblinking, fix on you like a predator sizing up its prey. She thrusts a stack of papers toward you, her manicured nails tapping impatiently. Your permit was denied this morning. Phone, scrolling through your inbox. There it is, an email, buried beneath vendor confirmations, time-stamped just as she said. Your stomach twists as you realize the oversight, the chaos of the day blinding you to her trap. Karen doesn't stop there. She raises the decibel meter triumphantly, declaring the music, the laughter, even the clink of cutlery as disruptive to the community's peace. She demands the event shut down immediately, threatening fines, liens, even legal action. Your partner tries to intervene, their voice calm but firm. But Karen's tirade only grows louder, drawing the attention of every guest, neighbors, peer. Over fences, their silhouettes framed by the glow of their porch lights. And you feel the weight of their judgment pressing against your skin. The officiant, flustered, stumbles over his words, and the ceremony grinds to a halt. The humiliation burns hotter than you expect. You plead with Karen, offering to lower the music, to move the reception indoors, anything to salvage the night. But she's relentless, her voice rising to a shrill crescendo as she accuses you of disrespecting the sanctity of Willow Grove. "This isn't your personal playground," she snaps, her words dripping with disdain. The crowd parts as she summons a pair of security guards hired, she claims, to enforce HOA regulations. They loom at her side, their radios crackling, and you realize she planned this, waited for the moment when your guard was down to strike. In the end, you have no choice. The guards escort guests to their cars, their footsteps heavy on the grass, leaving faint impressions in the earth. The caterers pack up in silence, their metal trays clanging like a funeral knell. Your partner holds you as you watch the fairy lights dim, the tables stripped bare, the jasmine bouquets wilting in the weight of the night's ruin. Karen lingers at the gate, her clipboard tucked under her arm, her expression one of cold victory. "Next time," she says, her voice low enough for only you to hear, "you'll think twice before challenging me." As the last car pulls away, you stand in the empty backyard, the air now heavy with the scent of damp earth and loss. The rhythm of your life in Willow Grove, once so full of promise, has been shattered. Burning resolve. Karen may have ruined your wedding, but this is your home, your story, and you'll not let her write its ending. You imagine yourself standing in her world, turning her own rules against her, and the thought takes root, fierce and unyielding. The constant struggle of Willow Grove has only just begun. The constant struggle of Willow Grove lingers in the air, like the faint scent of jasmine that still clings to your backyard, now silent and stripped of its fleeting magic. You stand at your kitchen window, the glass cool against your fingertips, staring out at the pergola where your wedding dreams unraveled. Her annual HOA Gala, the crown jewel of her reign, is 2 weeks away, a glittering spectacle where she plays queen over among her polished guests, ready to turn her night of glory into chaos. The plan begins to form, sharp and deliberate, as you map out your infiltration. The gala is held at the Willow Grove Community Center. You've never attended, but you've heard the stories. Catered hors d'oeuvres served on silver trays, a string quartet filling the air with delicate notes, and Karen, resplendent in a tailored gown, holding court over her loyal subjects. The event is invitation only, a privilege reserved for those who bow to her rules. You're not on the list, but that's the least of your obstacles. Karen's meticulous nature means security will be tight, her clipboard replaced by a guest registry and hired guards. But you've spent days poring over her emails, her HOA newsletters, her endless decrees, and you've found a crack in her armor. Her obsession with control leaves her blind to the chaos she creates. Your first step is to secure an invitation. You recall a neighbor, Mrs. Ellison, a soft-spoken widow who's attended every gala since her husband passed. She's no fan of Karen. Her rose garden was once deemed non-compliant for its excessive to defy her openly. You visit her one afternoon, the air thick with the scent of her chamomile tea as you sit in her living room, its walls adorned with faded photographs. "I just want to see the gala for myself," you say, your voice gentle but firm, "to understand her world." Mrs. Ellison hesitates, her fingers tracing the rim of her teacup, but the memory of Karen's cruelty softens her resolve. She sees everything, With the invitation secured, you turn to your next challenge, blending in. The gala demands elegance, a far cry from your usual jeans and sweaters. You spend hours at a boutique downtown, the air heavy with the scent of lavender sachets, trying on dresses until you find one a deep emerald gown that hugs your frame without drawing attention. It's understated but polished, perfect for slipping through the crowd unnoticed. You practice your posture in the mirror, mimicking the poised gait of Karen's inner circle, their clipped speech and practiced smiles. You even forge a name tag, borrowing the identity of a distant HOA member who moved away last year. Her name still lingering in the records, Karen never bothers to update. But infiltration isn't enough. You need chaos, a spectacle, to rival the ruin of your wedding. You spend nights at your dining table, the wood smooth under your hands, crafting a plan to expose Karen's hypocrisy. You've heard rumors from neighbors about canceled block parties, fines for holiday decorations, events shut down under flimsy pretenses. You dig through old HOA records, your desk cluttered with coffee mugs and crumpled notes, until you find evidence. Emails where Karen vetoed community events for aesthetic violations, while funneling HOA funds to her gala. You compile a dossier, each page a testament to her abuse of power, and plan to leak it during the gala, not directly, but through a carefully orchestrated ruse. Your weapon of choice is a fabricated scandal, one that will unravel Karen's composure in front of her adoring crowd. You design a series of anonymous flyers, printed on crisp white paper, accusing Karen of embezzling HOA funds for personal luxuries, a spa membership, a new car, trips to wine country. The claims are exaggerated but plausible, seeded with just enough truth from your research to sting. You enlist a friend, a former co-worker with a knack for graphic design, to make the flyers look official, complete with the HOA logo. You imagine yourself slipping them into gift bags, tucking them under napkins, scattering them like leaves in the wind. The goal isn't to prove the claims, but to sow doubt, to make her allies question her reign. The night of the gala arrives, and the community center glows like a beacon against the twilight. You step out of your car, the gravel crunching under your heels, the air cool and tinged with the scent of pine from nearby trees. The invitation in your clutch feels heavy, a key to a world you're about to dismantle. You adjust your name tag, Clara Wentworth, a name Karen won't question, and walk toward the entrance. The guards glance at your invitation, their faces impassive, and wave you through. Inside the hall is a vision of opulence. Chandeliers cast a warm glow over tables draped in burgundy cloth. The air rich with the aroma of truffle, canapes, and expensive wine. The string quartet plays a soft waltz, the notes floating like petals. On a breeze, you move through the crowd, your heart steady but your senses sharp. Karen stands at the center of the room, her crimson gown catching the light, her laughter loud and performative. She's surrounded by her loyalists, their faces painted with sycophantic smiles. You slip a flyer into a gift bag on a nearby table, then another under a champagne flute, your movements swift and practiced. You nod politely to strangers, exchanging small talk about the weather or the neighborhood's new landscaping, all while scanning for opportunities. You spot a projector screen at the front of the room, meant for Karen's annual speech, and an idea sparks. If you could hack the system, display your dossier for all to see. The chaos would be undeniable. You befriend a tech assistant, a young man with a nervous smile, offering him a glass of wine and a compliment on his tie. He's distracted, eager to please, and you casually ask about the projector setup. "It's just a USB drive," he says, gesturing to a laptop in the corner. You excuse yourself, heart racing, and slip behind a curtain to access the laptop. The screen glows faintly, the hum of its fan blending with the quartet's music. You insert a USB drive loaded with your dossier, formatted to look like Karen's presentation, and set it to play during her speech. The rhythm of your life in Willow Grove, once shattered, now pulses with purpose. As the evening progresses, you scatter more flyers, each one a seed of doubt. Guests begin to murmur, their glances darting toward Karen as they unfold the accusations. You catch her eye once, her gaze narrowing, but you melt into the crowd before she can place you. The air grows thick with tension, the scent of wine and perfume mingling with the undercurrent of unease. You imagine yourself standing in the aftermath, watching her empire crack, and the thought steadies you. The constant struggle of Willow Grove has brought you here, to the edge of her world, ready to push it into chaos. The rhythm of your life in Willow Grove, once a gentle cadence of hope, now thrums with the pulse of rebellion as you stand in the Gala's gilded chaos, the air heavy with the scent of champagne and whispered doubts. The flyers you've scattered have taken root, their accusations rippling through the crowd like a breeze stirring dry leaves. Karen, still radiant in her crimson gown, seems oblivious to the undercurrent. Her laughter sharp as she raises a glass to toast the HOA's unwavering commitment to excellence. But you know the moment is coming, her speech, the projector, your dossier. You imagine yourself watching her world unravel, and the thought is a quiet fire, warming the edges of your resolve. The constant struggle of Willow Grove has led you to this precipice, and now the meltdown begins. The string quartet fades, their bows resting as Karen steps onto the small stage, her heels clicking against the polished wood. The chandeliers dim slightly, casting her in a spotlight that makes her gown shimmer like spilled wine. The crowd hushes, their faces a mix of admiration and obligation, their hands poised to clap at her command. You linger near the back, your emerald dress blending with the shadows, your heart a steady drumbeat as you watch the projector screen flicker to life. Karen begins her speech, her voice smooth and commanding, extolling the virtues of order, compliance, and her vision for Willow Grove. "This community thrives because of our shared dedication," she says, her words polished but hollow, like glass beads strung on a fraying thread. Then it happens. The screen behind her, meant to display graphs of HOA achievements, shifts to your dossier. The first slide shows an email from Karen, its text blown up for all to see. The block party proposal is denied an acceptable risk to lawn uniformity. Gasps ripple through the crowd, soft but unmistakable, like the rustle of silk against skin. Karen falters, her smile twitching as she turns to the screen. The next slide appears a budget report highlighting thousands diverted from community projects to her gala. The murmurs grow louder, a low hum of disbelief, and you catch the scent of unease mingling with the floral centerpieces. You slip another flyer onto a table, its edges crisp against the burgundy cloth, and retreat to the crowd's edge. Karen's composure cracks. "This is a mistake," she snaps, her voice rising as she gestures to the tech assistant who fumbles with the laptop, his face pale. But the slides keep coming, more emails, more evidence of her petty tyrannies, fines for children's chalk drawings, cancelled picnics, a neighbor's charity bake sale shut down for unpermitted signage. The crowd shifts, their loyalty fraying like the hem of an overused rug. You hear a woman whisper, "She'll find me for my Christmas lights," and a man mutter, "My son's lemonade stand got a citation." The air grows thick, the warmth of the chandeliers now stifling. As Karen's empire begins, Tushi tries to regain control, her hands gripping the podium, her knuckles white. "This is sabotage," she shouts, her eyes scanning bloated size 3607 chars, attempting to trim content. The rhythm of your life in Willow Grove, once a gentle cadence of hope, now thrums with the pulse of rebellion as you stand in the Gala's gilded chaos, the air heavy with the scent of champagne and whispered doubts. The flyers you've scattered have taken root, their accusations rippling through the crowd like a breeze stirring dry leaves. Karen, still radiant in her crimson gown, seems oblivious to the undercurrent, her laughter sharp as she raises a glass to toast the HOA's unwavering commitment to excellence. "But you know the moment is coming," her speech, the projector, your dossier. You imagine yourself watching her world unravel, and the thought is a quiet fire warming the edges of your resolve. The constant struggle of Willow Grove has led you to this precipice, and now the meltdown begins. The string quartet fades, their bows resting as Karen steps onto the small stage, her heels clicking against the polished wood. The chandeliers dim, casting her in a spotlight that makes her gown shimmer like spilled wine. The crowd hushes, their faces a mix of admiration and obligation. You linger near the back, your emerald dress blending with the shadows, your heart a steady drumbeat as the projector screen flickers to life. Karen begins her speech, extolling the virtues of order and compliance. "This community thrives because of our shared dedication," she says, her voice smooth but hollow, like glass beads on a fraying thread. The screen shifts to your dossier. An email from Karen appears. "Block party denied, unacceptable risk." To lawn uniformity. Gasps ripple through the crowd, soft but unmistakable, like silk against skin. Karen falters, her smile twitching as the next slide shows a budget report, thousands diverted to her gala. Murmurs grow louder, the scent of unease mingling with floral centerpieces. You slip another flyer onto a table, its edges crisp, and retreat to the crowd's edge. Karen's composure cracks. "This is a mistake," she snaps, gesturing to the tech assistant, who fumbles with the laptop. But the slides continue, emails about fines for chalk drawings, cancelled picnics, a charity bake sale shut down. The crowd shifts, loyalty fraying. A woman whispers, "She'll find my Christmas lights." Another, "My son's lemonade stand." The air grows stifling, Karen's empire crumbling. She shouts, "This is sabotage." Her eyes scanning the room, landing on you. "You," she hisses, striding forward, her heels a staccato rhythm. The crowd parts as she grabs your wrist, her nails digging in. "You think you can ruin me?" Her breath is hot with wine, and her hand swings, striking your cheek. The room spins, copper in your mouth as you stumble, your dress catching on a chair. the crowd's shouts rise, phones out, capturing the chaos. You regain balance, your cheek throbbing, and meet her wild eyes. The memory of your ruined wedding, fairy lights dimming, jasmine wilting, fuels you. You lunge, grabbing her shoulders, crashing into a table. Crystal shatters, the sound like ice breaking. Her nails rake your arm, leaving fire. Security rushes in, their boots heavy, pulling you apart. Your chest heaves, your lip bleeds, the air thick with perfume and conflict. Karen screams accusations, but the projector loops your dossier, each slide a nail in her coffin. The chaos spreads. Guests argue, some defending Karen, others recounting grievances. A man rips a flyer, shouting about defamation. A woman clutches one, nodding fiercely. The quartet packs up, strings silent. Security escorts you out, Karen's authority slipping like sand. You see Mrs. Ellison, her eyes gleaming with pride. Outside, the cool air carries pine and grass, the gala's glow fading. Your plan-worked chaos reigns, but the constant struggle of Willow Grove isn't over. One final revelation awaits. I'm ready to proceed with segment 4 when you confirm to continue. The rhythm of your life in Willow Grove, once a gentle cadence of hope, now thrums with the pulse of rebellion as you stand in the Gala's gilded chaos, the air heavy with the scent of champagne and whispered doubts. The flyers you've scattered have taken root, their accusations rippling through the crowd like a breeze stirring dry leaves. Karen, still radiant in her crimson gown, seems oblivious to the undercurrent, her laughter sharp as she raises a glass to toast the HOA's unwavering commitment to excellence. But you know the moment is coming, her speech, the projector, your dossier. You imagine yourself watching her world unravel, and the thought is a quiet fire, warming the edges of your resolve. The constant struggle of Willow Grove has led you to this precipice, and now the meltdown begins. The string quartet fades, their bows resting as Karen steps onto the small stage, her heels clicking against the polished wood. The chandeliers dim, casting her in a spotlight that makes her gown shimmer like spilled wine. The crowd hushes, their faces a mix of admiration and obligation. You linger near the back, your emerald dress blending with the shadows, your heart a steady drumbeat as the projector screen flickers to life. Karen begins her speech, extolling the virtues of order and compliance. This community thrives because of our shared dedication, she says, her voice smooth but hollow, like glass beads on a fraying thread. The screen shifts to your dossier. An email from Karen appears. Block party denied, unacceptable risk to lawn uniformity. Gasps ripple through the crowd, soft but unmistakable, like silk against skin. Karen falters, her smile twitching. As the next slide shows, a budget report, thousands diverted to her gala. Murmurs grow louder, the scent of unease mingling with floral centerpieces. You slip another flyer onto a table, its edges crisp, and retreat to the crowd's edge. Karen's composure cracks. This is a mistake, she snaps, gesturing to the tech assistant, who fumbles with the laptop. But the slides continue. Emails about fines for chalk drawings, canceled picnics, a charity bake sale shut down. The crowd shifts, loyalty fraying. A woman whispers, "She find my Christmas lights." Another, "My son's lemonade stand." The air grows stifling, Karen's empire crumbling. She shouts, "This is sabotage," her eyes scanning the room, landing on you. You, she hisses, striding forward, her heels a staccato rhythm. The crowd parts as she grabs your wrist, her nails digging in. You think you can ruin me? Her breath is hot with wine, and her hand swings, striking your cheek. The room spins, copper in your mouth as you stumble, your dress catching on a chair. The crowd's shouts rise, phones out, capturing the chaos. You regain balance, your cheek throbbing, and meet her wild eyes. The memory of your ruined wedding, fairy lights dimming, jasmine wilting, fuels you. You lunge, grabbing her shoulders, crashing into a table. Crystal shatters, the sound like ice breaking. Her nails rake your arm, leaving fire. Security rushes in, their boots heavy, pulling you apart. Your chest heaves, your lip bleeds, the air thick with perfume and conflict. Karen screams accusations, but the projector loops your dossier, each slide a nail in her coffin. The chaos spreads. Guests argue, some defending Karen, others recounting grievances. A man rips a flyer, shouting about defamation. A woman clutches one, nodding fiercely. The quartet packs up, strings silent. Security escorts you out, Karen's authority slipping like sand. You see Mrs. Ellison, her eyes gleaming with pride. Outside, the cool air carries pine and grass, the gala's glow fading. Your plan worked, chaos reigns, but the constant struggle of Willow Grove isn't over. One final revelation awaits. The constant struggle of Willow Grove lingers in the cool night air, the scent of pine and damp grass, a quiet contrast to the chaos you've left behind in the community center. Your cheek stings, your arm throbs where Karen's nails left there. Mark, and the torn hem of your emerald dress brushes against your ankles as you stand in the parking lot. The gala's glow now a distant flicker. The murmurs of the crowd, the shattering crystal, and Karen's unraveling composure replay in your mind like a song you can't shake. But the rhythm of your life in Willow Grove demands one final nota, revelation to seal her downfall and restore the balance she's disrupted for so long. You imagine yourself standing in the aftermath, the truth laid bare, and the thought carries you forward into the scandal that will end her reign. The morning after the gala. Willow Grove buzzes with a restless energy. Neighbors linger on their porches, their coffee mugs steaming in the crisp dawn air, their voices low but urgent as they recount the night's events. The scent of freshly cut grass mingles with the faint taint of gossip, and you feel the weight of their glances as you walk to your mailbox. Your bruises hidden beneath a soft sweater. Your phone vibrates with messages from Mrs. Ellison and others. Their words a mix of awe and caution. You did it. She's furious. What's next? The flyers, the dossier, and the public brawl have cracked Karen's facade. But you know she'll fight to glue it back together. You've saved your trump card for this moment, a cache of leaked documents that will expose her history of sabotage beyond repair. You've been working with a small group of allies, neighbors who've suffered under Karen's rule. There's Mr. Patel, whose Diwali celebration was fined for excessive lighting. Ms. Carter, whose book club was disbanded for unapproved gatherings. And young Tim, whose skate ramp was torn down for structural non-compliance. Together, you've scoured old HOA records, cross-referencing them with public complaints filed with the city. Late nights at your dining table, the wood worn smooth under your hands, yielded a goldmine, a series of emails, meeting minutes, and financial statements that paint a damning picture. Karen didn't just veto community events, she systematically targeted those who challenged her, using HOA funds to hire consultants and lawyers to enforce her whims while neglecting street repairs and communal spaces. Your plan is to release these documents to the entire neighborhood, but timing and delivery are critical. You choose the Willow Grove Online Forum, a platform Karen monitors obsessively but can't fully control. You create an anonymous account, your fingers hovering over the keyboard as the scent of your morning coffee fills the room, grounding you. The post is simple but devastating. A PDF attachment titled "The Truth About Our HOA," accompanied by a brief message. For years, we've lived under rules that divide us. It's time to see why. You upload the file, a 50-page compilation of evidence, each page a thread in the tapestry of Karen's tyranny. You hit post, and the air feels lighter, like the moment after a storm breaks. Within hours, the forum explodes. Notifications flood your phone, the screen glowing in the dim light of your living room, where the scent of lavender from a candle you lit earlier lingers. Neighbors react with fury and disbelief, their comments piling up. "She canceled my daughter's talent show for noise, but spent $10,000 on Gala flowers. I paid a $500 fine for my fence height. Where did that money go?" The documents spread beyond the forum, shared via email, text, and even printed copies slipped under doors. You walk through the neighborhood, the crunch of gravel under your shoes a steady rhythm, and see stacks of the PDF on porches, their pages fluttering in the breeze like leaves signaling autumn's arrival. Karen's response is swift but desperate. She posts a lengthy rebuttal on the forum, her words dripping with indignation, claiming the documents are forgeries and threatening legal action. But her usual authority falters. The scent of her panic is almost palpable, like oversteeped tea left to sour. Neighbors, emboldened by the evidence, push back. Mr. Patel organizes an emergency HOA meeting, his voice firm as he circulates a petition to remove Karen from her presidency. Ms. Carter rallies her book club, now reformed in defiance, to distribute more copies of the documents. Tim and his friends, armed with skateboards and youthful audacity, plastered the neighborhood with posters reading Karen's reign ends now. Their spray paint fumes sharp in the evening air. The emergency meeting is held in the same community center where the Gala collapsed, its polished floors still bearing faint scratches from the chaos. You attend, your sweater soft against your bruised arm, blending into the crowd of over 100 residents. The air is thick with the scent of coffee and tension. The murmur of voices rising as Karen takes the podium, her navy blazer crisp but her face haggard. She tries to deflect, blaming a small group of troublemakers for the smear campaign, but her words are drowned out by boos and shouted questions. You catch Mrs. Ellison's eye across the room, her nod subtle but warm, and feel the rhythm of your life in Willow Grove shift toward justice. Then comes the final blow. Mr. Patel, armed with a lawyer friend, presents a motion to dissolve the current HOA board, citing gross misconduct. He projects the leaked documents onto the same screen that betrayed Karen at the Gala, each slide met with gasps and applause. The vote is overwhelming. Karen is ousted, her gavel falling silent as she storms out, her heels echoing like a fading drumbeat. The crowd erupts, their cheers a release of years of pent-up frustration. The air now alive with the scent of possibility. In the days that follow, Willow Grove begins to heal. A new HOA board is elected, with Mr. Patel as president, promising transparency and community-driven decisions. Neighbors organize a block party, the first in years. It's laughter and music filling the cul-de-sac where your wedding once stood. You host a small gathering in your backyard, the pergola strung with new fairy lights. Their glow soft against the jasmine you've replanted. The scent of roasted herbs from a shared potluck mingles with the chatter of friends and your partners. Hand in yours feels like an anchor in a sea of renewal as you stand beneath the stars. The constant struggle of Willow Grove feels less like a burden and more like a story you've helped rewrite. Karen's downfall, sealed by the truth you unveiled, has freed your community from her shadow. You imagine yourself moving forward, your home a place of joy once more, and the thought is a gentle lullaby, soothing the scars of the past. The rhythm of your life in Willow Grove is yours again, and it sings of victory.